والصلاة والسلام على سيد المرسلين وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين أما بعد. حدثنا هناد بن السري أخبرنا عبد الرحمن بن أبي الزناد عن هشام بن عروة عن أبيه عن عائشة رضي الله تعالى عنها قالت: كنت أغتسل أنا ورسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم من إناء واحد وكان له شعر فوق الجمة ودون الوفرة. حدثنا علي بن حجر أخبرنا إسماعيل بن إبراهيم عن حميد عن أنس بن مالك قال: كان شعر رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم إلى نصف أذنيه. These two first riwayat from the chapter about the hair Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. First one narrated by Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu. He said that Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam's hair Mubarak was reaching to the half of his ears Mubarak. First hadith sharif, that hair Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, they were reaching to the half of his ears Mubarak. Second riwayat narrated by Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha. Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha says that I myself and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we used to make a ghusl from the same pot, from the same utensil, from the same bucket. And Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had his hair Mubarak equal to his ears. It was reaching to the earlobe Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. This hadith sharif, very interesting hadith sharif. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding of Quran and Sunnah. Allah's deed doesn't depend on emotions. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's deed doesn't depend on sentiments. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's deed depends on realities. This hadith sharif, especially first sentence, our mother Ummul Mu'mineen Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha narrated that myself and Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, we used to make ghusl from the same pot. When it comes to the commentators of the hadith sharif, they said that it is possible that Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam made ghusl from the same bucket, and then turn of ghusl came for Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha, and she made ghusl from the same pot. Nabi sallallahu made first, then Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala, or Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha made first, and then Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. One of the explanation. Another explanation that when you go through the sentence, then at the same time we need to bear in mind, according to Muhaddisin, that our mother Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala anha had narrated that I have never seen the satar Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. Never ever. And neither Nabi sallallahu alayhi wa sallam had seen my satar. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us correct understanding of Islam. When it comes to husband and wife, it will be disrespecting to this relation. It will be disrespecting to this relation that someone takes this relation only for one goal, and that is sexuality. It serves that purpose, but it is not ultimate goal. It is not the essence of marriage. It serves that purpose. It is not the essence of marriage. So that's why, bear that in mind, that our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala had narrated that hadith sharif, that neither me, neither Nabi Sallallahu, we had never seen satar of one another, never ever. So if they were making ghusl same time from the same pot, then bear that in mind, that satars were closed. Another thing, I had narrated and shared that riwayat many times, and again that is being narrated by our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. And before we go into that riwayat, our mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she is such a woman. She is such a woman that she survived approximately 50 years, nearly 50 years after the demise of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. After the demise of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Before we talk some other points, she survived nearly 50 years after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. And her 50 years after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will tell you all. 50 years after Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam will tell you all. Her contribution, her knowledge, her solving the issues of ilm, of Quran and Hadith Sharif, her impact, her influence. She became turning point. She became one of the reference. She was one of the guide, one of the mentor, one of the leader. That tells you all. That tells you all that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought this genius woman when she was a young girl. And again, inshallah we'll talk, if we talk after Isha, we'll talk into the length. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam and our mothers, Ummahatul Mu'mineen. Let me share a few points. First, remember, Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam got married to Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha when he was 25. And Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala anha, she was 40. Now, when he reached to the age of 25, you go to whole Makkah Mukarramah, you go even to Abu Jahl, enemies of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. From the teens, from the youth to the age of 25, not friends, not family, not even any enemy will have any shadow of doubt onto the modesty and chastity of Muhammad Rasulullah. First point. Second, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got married to Hazrat Khadija radiallahu ta'ala, and she was at the age of 40. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was at the age of 25. And she was widowed from the multiple marriages. She had kids too. Khadija radiallahu ta'ala. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam got married. She was one of the wealthy, one of the rich women, and she was impressed by the honesty, by the characteristic of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. She approached Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, got married at the age of 25, she was 40. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam remained within that wedlock almost 25 years. Almost 25 years. Almost 25 years. And in those 25 years, when he reached, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam reached to the age of 40, he was given the nubuwwat, he was given the prophethood. And at the age of 40, when he was given the prophethood, when clash, when confrontation and when opposition started from the Quraysh, everybody knows that Quraysh came and offered that if you want the most beautiful woman of the whole Arabia, we are prepared to give it to you. If you want the leadership of the Arabia, we are prepared to give it to you. If you want wealth, we can hoard our all wealth and we can give it to you. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, you bring sun in one of my hand and you bring moon in one of my hand. I am not going to abandon what I am calling for, what I am inviting for. So, Na'udhu Billah, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, we'll go into this detail, point by point. One of the principle I want you to remember. One of the principle I want you to remember. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his married life. Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his married life. I am saying with an oath with total conviction, Nabi Sallallahu and his married life, if any non-Muslim who's got decency, who's got humanity, if he goes through the riwayat, authentic riwayat about Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his multiple wives, one of the two things will happen, wallahi. Either he will accept Islam, or if he doesn't accept Islam, he will fall in love of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. I'm talking about non-Muslims. And we Muslims, we Muslims, remember, I'm going to say one of the very bitter sentences. We are going to hold you responsible if you don't give time to your Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. If you don't want to know your Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, you spend hours and hours on nonsense on this. Wallahi, you will be held responsible. You have such a pure characteristic in front of you, and they are there preserved in an authentic manner. Every day from the life of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam is being preserved. Every second, every minute. You have time for WhatsApp. You have time to do all the nonsense. You spend hours and you never study Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Any true Muslim just study this one point, Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and his multiple wives. Wallahi, you will fall in greater and deeper love of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, because you will conclude only and only purity, only and only modesty, only and only chastity, only and only mannerism. But may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, make us such that we want whole world to know that who is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Who is Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? So, on Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, we will conclude here that Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, she almost survived more than nearly 50 years after the demise Mubarak of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And the contribution she made to the humanity, I always say, based on haqaiq, based on reality, we always conclude that you keep all the genius humans, including man, after Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. After Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam, you conclude, you gather all the genius humans beside Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. I'm not including Anbiya alayhi salatu wasalam. You gather and you keep all the humans one side, and you keep your mother and my mother Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha. Wallahi, she has contributed to the humanity. When it comes to relations, when it comes to characteristic, when it comes to generosity, when it comes to sacrifices, when it comes to learn and derive from this multi-dimensional figure who was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam's life is a multi-dimensional figure. Every second of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you can derive lessons which will continue till the day of Qiyamah. And genius person like Aisha radiallahu ta'ala, she kept on deriving. That's why you will find many occasions that she is just ready. When Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam will do something, immediately she will ask, Ya Rasulullah, why did you do that? Why? Because she was appointed by Allah that you are a genius person. You are a genius person. You got to derive maximum from Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and convey it to humanity. I am not saying only to Muslims. All non-Muslims, come and study Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam just by the eyes of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. Just by the eyes of Aisha radiallahu ta'ala. You will come to know that what type of relation they have. Unfortunately, situation is going to get worse. Our hearts and our eyes and our thinking will become more polluted. Why? Because you and I remain busy in this. This is a driving force for you. And if you divorce this, then this will become driving force for you. And when this will become driving force for you, then it will add in you purity, integrity, sincerity, good thinking, good way of handling your life. So choice is yours. Choice is yours. I don't know how long we are going to live, but as long as inshallah we will be here, we will try to derive lessons from the authentic riwayat of Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam and from the Quran. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us such that we are being led by Quran and Sunnah of Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam, by no other narratives. Oh Allah, make us such that our privacy and our public life, our day and our night, our secrecy and our openness become such that we have only one narrative of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, narrative of Quran and Sunnah. Then you will lead integral life. And as I'm saying, that situation will become more polluted. In that polluted situation, if you become flag bearer for the narrative of Quran and Sunnah, then your price into the sight of Allah also will be very healthy. But unfortunately, after we leave masjid or after we leave, when we come for salat, what have you watched before you came for salat? If you have heard even Zuhur, Asr, Maghrib, Isha, whatever you have heard, your salat will be accordingly. If you were drowned into dirtiness, your salat will be dirty, my friend. It will be polluted. It will be impure. And if you are busy with Allah and Rasul, that is the preparation. Wuzu doesn't mean that you just use some water and cleanse yourself. No, that wuzu, it's a symbol to purify you inner and out. And then you come and stand in front of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Otherwise you are just like machine, up and down and go. No difference. That is what is happening. That is why humans are becoming more and more polluted, and they are going to get worse. Because Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam said, Shirarul Nas will be in big number. Evil people will be in big number. What you are, whatever you think, that is what you are. Your introduction, if your thinking is full of pride, that is what you are. If your thinking is dirty, looking down onto everybody, that is what you are. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the purity, some share from the purity of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, purity from our mother Aisha radiyallahu ta'ala and all the Sahaba and Sahabiyat. Ya awwal al-awwalin, ya akhir al-akhirin, ya rahim al-masakin, ya dhal quwwati al-matin, ya dhal manni fala yumannu alayk, ya dhal tawul, ya dhal jalali wal ikram, la ilaha illa ant, zuhar al-laji'in, wa ja'al al-mustajidin, wa ma'man al-khaifin. إن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب أشقياء فامحو عنا اسم الشقاء وإن كنت كتبتنا عندك في الكتاب مقطرا علينا أرزاقنا فامحو تقطير رزقنا وحرمان رزقنا واكتبنا وأثبتنا عندك سعداء ووفقنا الخير فإنك تقول في كتابك يمحو الله ما يشاء ويثبت وعنده الكتاب. اللهم إنا نسألك فعل الخيرات وترك المنكرات وحب المساكين وأن تغفر لنا وترحمنا. فإذا أردت بقوم فتنة فتوفنا غير مفتونين. غير مفتونين غير خزايا ولا ندامى ولا مفتونين. اللهم ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. اللهم ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم. وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا وحبيبنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه أجمعين برحمته.